One Zambia, One Nation, and welcome to Zanis News. We look at the top stories in the news. President Hichilema pays tribute to late former Chief Justice Silungwe's professionalism. Ministry of Foreign Affairs applauds peace and stability in SADC region. Musende Day Secondary School appeals for increased infrastructure support. Plus 2023 to 2024 MTN Super League and APSA Champions Red Arrows signs new players. Well, with the main news in detail, my name is Margaret Kangwa and my sign language interpreter is Imelda Mulea. Now, President Hakainde Hichilema has advised legal fraternity and Zambians to learn from the late former Chief Justice Amos Silungwe's professionalism and diligence towards work. President Hichilema, who led mourners at the Anglican Cathedral of the Holy Cross in Lusaka today, described the late Justice Silungwe as a dedicated civil servant whose work speaks for itself through his numerous contributions to the legal fraternity, not only in Zambia, but beyond borders. Muna Chibende has more in this report.
President Hakainde Hichilema this morning led mourners to the Cathedral of the Holy Cross for the funeral church service of the late former Chief Justice Amos Silungwe, who died on the 30th of June 2024, aged 88 years. Justice Silungwe, who was the first Zambian indigenous Chief Justice and the longest-serving Chief Justice for 17 years, from 1975 to 1992, also served as Minister of Legal Affairs and was later appointed as the founding chairperson of Namibia's Magistrate Commission in 2003. President Hakainde Hichilema, who officiated at the church service for the late Chief Justice Silungwe, described him as a dedicated civil servant.
Today, as a nation, in mourning Emeritus Amos Silungwe, Justice Silungwe, the first, as we have heard, indigenous Chief Justice of our country, who had an illustrious career in our public service in this country, but also in other jurisdictions. Seychelles we had, Namibia. His work speaks for itself, who he was to the family, to the church. I must have acknowledged the church leaders that are here. Thank you to the church leaders that are seated on our left and elsewhere in this church today. But the work he did with the church, the work he did for our public sector, particularly in the legal fraternity, tremendous, non-contestable. I think that's the message for us seated here, that he, together with his colleagues, did work and upheld, really, the rule of law in our country. He advanced, together with his colleagues, the flip side of democracy. In the whole picture of democracy, we on the other side tend to create trouble. But where he sat, he moderated with the troublemakers within the context of a free society governed by the rule of law.
And Chief Justice of Namibia highlighted the important role that the late Justice Silungwe played in the Namibian judicial system.
True to his well-known and esteemed character of personal humility, selflessness, and uninhibited desire to assist others, the late Chief Justice agreed to assist us. He came to Namibia and became the founding director for our Justice Training Center, the equivalent of the Zambia Institute of Advanced Legal Education. As the director of the center, Chief Justice Silungwe worked closely with the Board for Legal Education, which in my capacity as Chief Justice, I have the honor of chairing. I can attest to the sterling and immeasurable experience he brought to bear on the performance of the board's functions. His invaluable contribution, seeped in long years of experience, conduced to the better attainment of the goals of the board. Doubtless, his contribution was non-pareil and was greatly appreciated by all board members. Indeed, it made working with him a great source of immense joy, and above all, he was loved by candidate legal practitioners. Today, the Justice Training Center is a viable and efficient center for the training of candidate legal practitioners, thanks to the solid foundation led by Justice Silungwe.
Meanwhile, in a special tribute through a representative, the widow Abigail Silungwe described her late husband of 64 years as a great family man.
To my ever-loving husband, I recall the day we got married 64 years ago, yet it is like only yesterday. I stand here today with a broken heart to say goodbye to the love of my life, my husband, Aneo Musenga Silungwe. When you passed on, you lived your life as a God-fearing and loving man. Above all else, a great family man. I want to say thank you for being there for me and our children every step of the way.
Children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren for the late Chief Justice also gave their tributes.
You were always such a loving and gentle, caring and present dad, and for that, we thank you. Your strong faith and love of God was such a great example to us, and we would not equally have the same strong faith and love of God without you.
First time in our lives, Grandpa was not around for us to run to. But it's okay, because the roles are now reversed. Kuku, you can finally rest now, and for the first time, depend on us to bring meaning to your purpose in life.
In giving the word of comfort, Miracle Life Family Church pastor gave a homily.
And so, loved ones, please realize that's already happened. Heaven has received your friend. Heaven has received your father. Heaven has received this gallant servant of this nation. And there's rejoicing and joy in heaven today. If our friend could have texted from heaven, he would have said, landed, arrived. It's better than you imagine. Please join me here. John 11, verse 25, Jesus said to someone around this very setting of a funeral, he said, I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live, even after dying. Everyone who lives in me and believes in me will never die. Do you believe me, Martha? We must believe Jesus today.
May the soul of the true Son of the Soul, Chief Justice Silungwe, rest in eternal peace. Munachwende for Zanis in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Chief Justice Mumba Mala says late former Chief Justice Amos Silungwe's death should be a reminder for the judiciary to document the history of the judiciary and the legal profession in general. And Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha says the contribution by the late former Chief Justice to the judiciary is immeasurable, adding that his absence will be felt. The duo was speaking during the farewell service held at the Supreme Court in Lusaka. Sharon Walia has the details.
The Supreme Court of Zambia this morning conducted a solemn valedictory service for the first indigenous and long-serving Chief Justice, Amos Silungwe, who passed away last week. The service was a tribute to his legacy and contributions to Zambia's judiciary. Chief Justice Mumba Mala eulogized the late former Chief Justice for his contribution in decolonization of the judiciary.
Indigenous Chief Justice of Zambia, he did remarkable pioneering work in decolonizing our jurisprudence and Zambianizing the judiciary. It was not easy, but he managed, remaining at the helm of the judiciary for a record 17 years. He took the prize of not only being the first indigenous Chief Justice, but also that of being the longest serving in the history.
The extraordinary work exhibited by the late former Chief Justice will be missed by many in the judicial system.
With a career of spanning over 4 decades, Honorable Chief Justice Emeritus Amos Chandu's legacy is a testament to his unwavering commitment to the legal profession. His contributions to the legal profession are immeasurable, and his impact will be felt for generations to come.
I express my gratitude to honor the late Chief Justice Amos Chandu. When I was nominated for appointment as High Court Judge in 1980, I was expecting my 3rd child, Mubanga Celia. I responded to the late Justice with a request to allow me to have my baby and regain my health. It is rare to find such compassion and understanding in a person so highly placed. He could have easily replaced me, but he didn't. He respected motherhood as much as he respected our profession.
My Lord, the challenges that you encounter today on delayed judgments were almost non-existent during the tenure of the late Chief Justice. I do not recall the Council of Law Association of Zambia ever discussing this topic with him. Judgments were delivered on scheduled dates and within reasonable time periods.
Justice Silungwe's impact on Zambia's judiciary and his contributions to the fight for justice will remain indelible to the history of the judiciary. Sharon Walia reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
And Vice President Mutale Nalumango this afternoon led hundreds of mourners at Leopards Hill Memorial Park in putting to rest late former Chief Justice Amos Chandu. Kasweka Sakaimbo attended the burial and filed in this report.
Vice President W.K. Mutale Nalumango led hundreds of mourners today at Leopards Hill Memorial Park who paid their last respect to Zambia's first Chief Justice Amos Chandu. A 3-gun salute for the longest-serving and first indigenous Chief Justice of the Republic of Zambia was performed. In a touching committal, Pastor Walker Schutz encouraged the mourners.
And Lord, we thank you for your presence to be with us at this time. And so we ask, as we commit this body to the earth, we do so in faith in the name of Jesus.
In a vote of thanks, family representative Professor Mpazi Sinjela thanked the government for the support rendered during the funeral process.
It would not have been possible for the family to render the kind of amazing send-off that you, Madam Vice President, have rendered to the late Chief Justice and family. We are overwhelmed indeed by the show of what kind of a caring government yours is.
In honor of the late Chief Justice, Vice President W.K. Mutale Nalumango presented a national flag accompanied by the official portrait for the late Chief Justice to Mrs. Abigail Silungwe, the widow. Kasweka Sakaimbo reporting, Lusaka.
Well, in other news tonight, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Permanent Secretary Etambuyu Anamela has expressed happiness with the peace and security that is prevailing in the Southern African Development Community SADC region. Ms. Anamela says that the SADC region recognizes peace and security as critical factors in creating a conducive environment for regional cooperation and integration. She was speaking during the official opening of the meeting for senior officials of the SADC Ministerial Committee of the Organ on Defense, Politics and Security Cooperation in Lusaka. Here is a report.
Meeting of senior officials from the Southern African Development Community SADC Ministerial Committee has officially opened. The meeting is in preparation for the upcoming SADC 26th Ordinary Meeting. Minister of Foreign Affairs Permanent Secretary, International Relations and Cooperations Etambuyu Anamela officially opened the meeting in Lusaka, highlighting the importance of the meeting. Ms. Anamela, who is also chairman of the senior officials of the SADC Ministerial Committee of the organ, explained that the meeting serves as a build-up to the summit, which is slated for August, when Zambia will hand over the chairmanship of the SADC on defense, security and peace.
Zambia is the chair of the SADC organ on politics, defense and security cooperation. So on that basis, Zambia is chairing the Ministerial Council organ, and this is a meeting of foreign ministers of SADC. So the ministers are coming, they'll be here 11th and 12th July. But before that meeting, it's preceded by the senior officials meeting, and this is officials at the level of permanent secretary who go through the issues to do with defense, security, diplomacy and politics.
She disclosed that the meeting will be chaired by Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Mlambo in his capacity as the chairperson of the Ministerial Committee Council officials.
And more importantly now, we're looking at the energy crisis that is affecting the region, and that is impacting food security. So these are some of the issues we're discussing. And then before that, there was the defense and security meeting. This is the defense clusters of the organ. So you have officials from the ministries of Home Affairs, the ministries of defense as well. So their conversation feeds into the senior officials meeting, which feeds into the ministerial council meeting, and then the ministers are the ones who recommend the recommendations coming out of these meetings to the summit, and this is the heads of state. It is a build-up to the summit, which will take place in August. So our minister, our foreign minister, Mr. Haimbe, he is chair of the MCO, the Ministerial Council officials, and he will be here chairing the meeting on the 11th and the 12th.
The meeting will discuss the political and security situation, as well as the strengthening of democratic processes in the SADC region. Peace, defense and security cooperation will be held from the 11th July to 12th July 2024 at the Mlungush International Conference Center to discuss a number of peace issues affecting the Southern African region. Audrey Kalenga, for Zanis in Lusaka.
Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Mike Mposha, has urged the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, to ensure investment projects are assessed and permits issued to applicants on time. Here is a report.
Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Mike Mposha, is on a familiarization tour to appreciate many activities that are taking place under his ministry. Speaking when he called on the Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo, Mr. Mposha has called on the provincial administration to work together with his ministry in protecting the forest and the environment.
There are many activities that are all going towards the forest. If you talk about mining, most of the mining activities now are going into the forest. If you talk about expansions of towns, most of them are going actually into the forest, trying to cut down trees and put in infrastructure. Now, we need to strike a balance between the growth of the economy, but also in there how we must protect the forestry, how we must protect the environment, so that at the end of the day, that which we want to gain, the creation of jobs, the economic activities, are done in a much more sustainable way, but without creating harm to the environment.
The minister has also called on the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, to ensure that issuance of permits is done on time.
They have a job to inspect, they have a job to also ensure compliance, but also they have a job to ensure that the projects, the various projects that the private sector are bringing forward are looked into and approved very quickly. So we have to work together with the province to ensure that all these departments, including ZEMA, they must attend to issues of permits in good time. We must protect this forest. We must ensure that we also allow, in areas where trees have been cut down, we must allow that we plant more trees. We also allow the forestry to regenerate.
Earlier, Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary highlighted some of the challenges that the departments under the green economy and environment are facing.
We also have challenges that affects your ministries. For example, the main challenge that we have is encroachment in the forest. I think this is an issue that we've been discussing, I think from day one when I came into this office. We've had issues with Minister of Lands, the Council, and of course with the Minister of our ministry. And some of the issues we are in the process of resolving, but the scourge has continued, and it's something that we seriously need to spend time to look at, otherwise we shall have no forests that are going to remain.
The minister says measures are being put in place to ensure that most of the challenges are addressed. Nelly Bota, Zanis, Ndola.
And now, Mazabuka District Commissioner Oliver Mulumba has urged farmers in the district to start preparing for the 2024 to 2025 farming season to mitigate the hunger crisis. Hazala Wanda has more in the following report.
The poor rainfall pattern of the previous season has led to a hunger crisis, which government is putting in all measures to alleviate the situation. Mazabuka District is preparing for a good season if the rainfall pattern will be favorable, as the District Commissioner Oliver Mulumba urges farmers in the district to take up the opportunity very seriously. Mr. Mulumba confirms that government has made progress to ensure the distribution of inputs is done in time for the coming season.
The government has not gone to sleep, especially under this drought period, where people lost all their crops across the board. Even after government had supplied inputs in time, not even on time, but in time, the government, under the able leadership of His Excellency, President Hakainde Hichilema, will this year distribute inputs early so that farmers are ready to plant. Anytime the rains will start raining, farmers should be having their inputs. That's the fertilizer and the seed. I therefore wish to encourage our farmers out there not to lose hope. You never ever lose hope, because the government has not lost hope. The government is still with you. The government is going to supply you with inputs in preparation for the 2024-2025 farming season. Hopefully the rain pattern will be good and we may head for a bumper harvest.
Farmer Support Input Program FISIP ensures farmers are provided with the necessary inputs for the farming season, and this particular program has been improved in the recent past. Gazela Habwanda, Zanis, in Mazabuka District.
We now take our first break. Stay tuned for more news.
Zambia Today is a program that keeps you informed on various government policies and programs. Join us every Tuesday at 18 hours on Zanis TV, Topstar Platform, Channel 6 DTT, and 458 DTH. Don't miss. Woman Thou Art is a program that offers counsel to the female folk, sharing real-life experiences and providing guidance to the women and young girls on necessary steps and conducts that will help shape and nurture a sober society. Watch Woman Thou Art on Zanis TV every Wednesday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, channel 6 DTT, and channel 458 DTH.
While the news continues, now Ndola Central Member of Parliament Frank Tayali has commissioned a solar-powered street lighting project in Ndola. Mr. Tayali, who is also Transport and Logistics Minister, says the street lights will provide security along Dibu Road in Kasenshi area. Here is a report.
Shifting to other alternative sources of power, government has installed 36 units of solar-powered streetlights along Ndiwa Road in Kansenshi area under the Constituents Development Fund program.
It's a street lighting project here along Ndiwa Drive. The total cost of this project is 897,000 kwacha. It comprises of supply and installation of streetlight poles together with the fittings, and these are solar powered. As you know, we are all moving in the direction of clean energy. So with all new installations as a council and as a constituency for Ndola Central, we are installing solar-powered streetlights.
Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tayali has commissioned the project.
That ours is simply to supplement that government effort. We do hope that many more streets can be lit up, especially now that we have seen this energy deficiency problem that has come with the reduced generation capacity at Kariba Dam. I think that solar is the way to go in order for us to enhance security within residential and indeed even industrial premises. So we are delighted to be here to come and commission this, and just want to encourage the community that there are still more projects coming, and that we must encourage the council to up their game. No project must stall, because you, the council, are the implementing supervisory agency.
Ndola District Commissioner has commended the contractor for completing the project on time.
And I want to state that I'm delighted to have this project completed within the stipulated time. If you hear me condemning a certain project, it means that project has not been done well, because that's my duty. But with this project, I can assure you that it was done 100%, and as Eddie alluded to, it was done within stipulated time. We don't want to see those contractors who would take long without completing the project, and yet money is here. Even the council, I always tell them to say, let these projects not stall at any point, because the president have already released the money.
Members of the public have since been urged to desist from vandalizing such projects. Jacqueline Moba, Zanis, in Ndola.
And now in education news, authorities at Musende Day Secondary School in Pulungu District of Northern Province have appealed to the campaign for female education, CAMFED, to help construct a classroom block at the school. And school head teacher Ruth Nakaonga says the learning institution is facing serious challenges of infrastructure to accommodate the ever-growing number of pupils. Ms. Nakaonga adds that the school has over 600 pupils who are being accommodated in a 1x4 classroom block. She said this during the My Beta World sensitization meeting held at the school.
As Musende Day Secondary School, as a school, we still have a challenge of infrastructure. As you can see, we only have one classroom block, which has 4 classes. We would like to ask from CAMFED, if at all they can help us have another classroom block, which will cushion on the ones that we have, because we have a lot of pupils that are coming, especially that government has introduced free education. We have a lot of them. These you are seeing are grade 8s. They are about 220. And these grade 8s you are seeing here, they do not even have a class. We have improvised a classroom behind another classroom where we have built structure where they learn from. We also have a challenge of furniture. Others are still sitting on buckets. They do not have desks and chairs. They are not enough. We still have some girls that are not able to receive any sponsorship. They are lacking a lot of materials like exercise books. They are lacking things like uniforms and many more other things. So my appeal is, as CANFED is enrolling these girls, they should also increase the numbers of girls who benefit from the materials that they receive.
And now in Luapula Province, Chamber Constituents Member of Parliament, Cliff Mpundu, has commended Ridgestone Engineering Limited, a company contracted to construct Muombe Rural Health Centre, for the good workmanship on the project. The project has been funded under the Constituents Development Fund. Details in this report by Trevor Lubaba.
This health facility, which is under construction, will be the first health centre in Kundamfumu area once it is completed. Chamber Member of Parliament, Cliff Mpundu, toured the construction site to appreciate the work done so far by the contractor, Ridgestone Engineering.
I'm very pleased with the workmanship, and generally as a district, we can see already the water is installed. The structure, in terms of they are just doing the finishes, and I think I'm quite impressed with the workmanship.
Once completed, the facility, which is being constructed using the Constituents Development Fund (CDF), will enable community members to access the primary health care services at their doorstep.
Here, people used to move many kilometers, especially women. The good part, the clinic is coming with the maternity wing, and that is the issue that our women have suffered from time immemorial. Now, with the maternity closer to our people, really our women will have that relief.
Sub-Chief Kundamfumu is happy about the development. The contractor is ready to complete the project this month.
By next week, I'm very much sure
Trevor Lubala for Zanis in Chembe District, Luapula Province.
And in a related development, Chasefu Constituents Member of Parliament, Mishek Nyambose, has expressed happiness with the progression of the Constituents Development Fund projects in the district. Mr. Nyambose says that the CDF projects in the area are a symbol of the district's step towards development and economic transformation. He notes that the CDF projects play an important role in addressing pressing needs of the community and in improving the quality of life of residents in rural areas. The Member of Parliament said this when he monitored CDF projects in the district.
I'm very happy. We have been working very closely with the Office of the DC and the Council Secretary to ensure that projects are delivered on time. We have so many which are waiting to be commissioned. This is one of them. Pikamanaza School, Erwangeni, Champero, Muntiengu, and Tipa Track. We are yet to commission this month. So far, we are doing very well in terms of projects. Workmanship is super in terms of this infrastructure. We want to have more people to come and be seeing what is happening. CDF is changing the lives of the people. And this is the value we are getting. We never had this infrastructure. Now we're able to see them. So I'm very happy as a Member of Parliament.
And now the Partnership for Municipal Innovation Women in Local Leadership project has disclosed its intention to develop a skills development center in Lunta district of Northern Province. The Council Secretary, Jonathan Mwanza, who revealed the development, says the Skills Training Center will be one of the improvement plans in the district. Mr. Mwanza has explained that the project is aimed at increasing women's capacity to lead in local governance. He says the targeted outcome of the project is enhanced enjoyment of rights for women and girls, especially those from marginalized groups.
We want to see ways and means we can be able to provide this service that is very inclusive, which takes care of the needs of even those people that live with disabilities. And the other area of our plan is create an enabling environment for attainment of planning objectives by all actors through effective and inclusive land use planning, as well as management of land in customary areas of the district. So what we'll note is that in these three areas of our improvement plan, the focus is on inclusivity. So in terms of the status at the moment, the project has reached a stage where we are just finalizing the deliverables. That is of that initial project that we have selected, the skills development, and then after which we got into project funding and also the project launch.
Now let's take our second break. We'll be right back shortly for more news. Stay tuned.
How I Made It is a program that delves into the many success stories of different people from all walks of life. Watch How I Made It on Zanis TV every Thursday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, channel 6 DTT and channel 458 DTH. Zambia Today is a program that keeps you informed on various government policies and programs. Join us every Tuesday at 18 hours on Zanis TV, Topstar platform, channel 6 DTT and 458 DTH. Don't miss.
Well, we continue now. Southern Province Permanent Secretary Naman Monze has assured residents of Kalomo District that government is determined to see to it that no household goes without food. And speaking during a stakeholders meeting held in Kalomo, Dr. Monze says government has put up several interventions to address hunger situation from the time President Hakainde Hichilema declared the drought as a national disaster. Details in this report.
Province Permanent Secretary Dr. Naman Monze says all hunger-affected households should be given an opportunity to have food through various interventions that government has put in place. Dr. Monze was speaking in Kalomo over the weekend at an interactive meeting with various stakeholders implementing government strategies to ensure that no household is left without food.
The purpose of the declaration being made is to ensure that no Zambian dies of hunger. And I want us to know that the overall goal of all these things we are doing is to ensure that each household in Kalomo has food. And we hope this will make us meet the President's directive that no house should go without food.
The Permanent Secretary has since called for concerted efforts among all stakeholders to actualize President Hakainde Hichilema's directive.
As a team, we have not bought into this thing that our people have no food, and we need to work extra hard to make sure that government efforts are well coordinated.
And Kalomo District Commissioner Joshua Skadulia thanked the provincial administration for closing up the gap in the relief food distribution exercise to the hunger-affected in communities.
Could we lose one life in Kalomo? Definitely you know what comes. So let us up our games. We are happy that wherever there was a gap, PS, I think your team have hit.
Reporting for Zanis, Martin Machekwa in Kalomo, Southern Province.
Now, government says it is committed to working with the church in spearheading development as well as improving the welfare of the people. And Eastern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape has commended the Reformed Church in Zambia for partnering with the government in promoting the welfare of the local people. Dr. Mwapi was speaking during the celebration of the church's 125 years of existence in Zambia at Magwero Presbytery in Chipata. More in this report.
It is under this Mupundu tree where the birth of the Reformed Church in Zambia originates from after the first service was held. It is now 125 years when missionaries from the Dutch Reformed Church in the Netherlands came to Magwero in Eastern Province of Zambia to preach the gospel. Various congregations of the Reformed Church in Zambia in Eastern Province and beyond gathered at Magwero Presbytery to celebrate 125 years of the church's existence. Eastern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape officiated at the colorful ceremony.
First of all, let me indicate that His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema is a leader that wants to work with the church and send congratulations to the Reformed Church in Zambia for being in Zambia for 125 years. The President sends his congratulatory message to the Synod for this remarkable achievement and a very long journey in the transformation of the souls, in the investment, in the social, economic activities of our country in partnership with his government.
Reformed Church in Zambia Vice Synod Moderator Clement Mwanza outlined the church's profile.
Reformed Church began its missionary work in the Eastern Province. Now, when we read this profile, when we say began its work in the Eastern Province, we are talking about where we are seated here. So the Eastern Province and the specific place, it is here where we are seated, where we have done our services. On 5th July 1899, at a place called Magwero, under the Mpundu tree where we are seated. The church has continued to expand, and this year, 2024, the church consisted 224 congregations, 205 ministers, and 43 evangelists, and 19 region bodies called presbyteries, which oversees the running of the congregations. So the church has also established various institutions to contribute to the livelihood of the Zambian people.
And Paramount Chief Mpezeni was represented by his senior induna at the ceremony.
Chifukwa chakuti mwakonga ndondomeko pakuti muwere amene ali nkosi ya makosi Paramount Chief Mpezeni lero mwakumbukira kuti nanga pakuti 125 years yatikosekerera tikasangalale nanga kwakwete pemba tiwalekelere mwakumbukira zamene izo mutokoza mmalo mwabevi.
Sylvester Chimba for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Now, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has delivered ballot papers for the forthcoming local government by-elections in Luchinde and Mulalo wards of Nakonde District in Muchinga Province. And District Electoral Officer Mutakela Kayonde has confirmed the development to the Zambia News and Information Service, Zanis. Henry Lumpa Jr. now reports.
Papers for the Luchinde and Mulalo ward forthcoming local government by-elections have arrived in Nakonde District. The ballot papers, which were delivered by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, at the Nakonde Civic Center, were received by the District Electoral Officer and various stakeholders from participating political parties who inspected and verified the boxes. The Nakonde District Electoral Officer, Mutakela Kayonde, said the electoral staff is ready to undertake the task slated for July 12, 2024 in a transparent manner.
Keep that information well, and my appeal is that we are getting closer to the poll day. And as we're getting closer to the poll day, this is a part of the process, and we want to be as transparent as possible. That's why you've all been called and invited, so that before even they leave the car which delivered, you are also able to witness the delivery and everything and unpacking. So the rest now will start flowing, and we wish you well in your campaigns.
And Luchinde Ward Returning Officer Hastings Kaira also confirmed on the number of boxes.
These can only be opened when they are going to be given to the presiding officers as they go to the polling stations. We have 1 of 6 for Luchinde at Chawa polling station.
The stakeholders who are present further expressed satisfaction with the arrival of the ballot papers.
We've seen the process is very transparent. The packaging is okay. I think we are satisfied.
The Luchinde and Mulalo ward seats fell vacant following the resignation of the incumbent councillors from the 2 wards. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Nakonde, Muchinga Province.
Well, the Electoral Commission of Zambia has also delivered ballot papers for the Chinama Ward local government by-elections slated for July 12, 2024. Kachia District Electoral Officer Joseph Nyirenda says 7 ballot boxes have been received and witnessed by relevant stakeholders. Details by Peggy Gutinu.
Ballot papers ahead of the Chinama local government by-election slated for 12 July have been delivered in Kachia District. Kachia District Electoral Officer Joseph Nyirenda says stakeholders have witnessed the receiving of the ballot papers.
We have received the ballot papers from Electoral Commission of Zambia. We had all the political parties that are participating represented to inspect and verify that we have received the ballot papers. We have secured them. The security wings were here and all the stakeholders were here. So far, we are happy with the way the process is going. We have not received any issues of violence, any clashes between political parties. We haven't received anything like that. So far, so good. Everything is peaceful.
I can only recommend the ECZ so far. The process has been transparent and there hasn't been any hiccups so far. And my words to them is that they continue like this. And I hope even on the voting day, the actual voting day, everything will move smoothly in a transparent manner.
We came here at Civic Center to witness the arrival of ballot papers, and we have witnessed it and everything is well.
Mr. Nyirenda has also disclosed that training for post staff is currently taking place ahead of the by-election.
So far, we are having a training here for the post staff. We are training 42 post staff that will deploy to our different polling stations. The deployment will be done on Wednesday and Thursday.
Peggy Gutinu for Zanis in Kachia, Muchinga Province.
And finally, in the news, the 2023-2024 MTN Super League and APSA champions Red Arrows Football Club has announced the accusation of Angel Lubamba and Godfrey Ngwenya from Changa Rangers and Power Dynamos respectively. Lubamba, who is a striker, and Ngwenya, a midfielder, are both joining the side on permanent deals. Additionally, utility player Zephania Piri returns to his parent club from Prisons Leopards Football Club. And club president Moses Kabimbi says Red Arrows remains committed to strengthening the team. Meanwhile, Red Arrows has also announced its participation in the Sikafa Invitational Tournament, which will be hosted by Tanzania. Well, that sporting item brings us to the end of the news, and before I finish, we look at the headlines once again. President Hichilema pays tribute to late former Chief Justice Silungwe's professionalism. Ministry of Foreign Affairs applauds peace and stability in SADC region. Musende Day Secondary School appeals for increased infrastructure support. Plus 2023 to 2024 MTN Super League and APSA champions Red Arrows signs new players. Well, that is all we had for you here at Zanis, and on behalf of the entire production crew, thank you so much for being with us. It has been Margaret Kangwa, and my sign language interpreter has been Imelda Malaya. Stay tuned.